Right, we're going to look at the foot strikes first. This is Luke doing a bit of a heel strike there. Could maybe move to his midfoot or forefoot. Might stop him from slowing down as discussed. Dan planting nicely right in the middle of his foot. Very good. This is George, although his trainer hits with a heel, you can see how his weight actually goes through the middle of his foot. What we're really looking at is, here's Dan. Yeah, good forefront strike. Good strike, yeah. And here's Colin. Right in the middle, lovely. What we're really looking at is if anybody's striking with a straight leg and the heel and in front of the body, that's where you tend to get problems. That's Chris Redfern. Maybe he's just touching the edge of his shoe there, but fine again. Weight nicely over the middle of the foot. Now there's quite a heel strike there. It's maybe he's a bit sort of putting the brakes on as you're running. I think that's Andy. And Keaton, yeah, good forefront strike. This is Keith and Simon, I believe. Now they both kind of strike with the heel, but as I was saying, quite importantly, there's a very straight leg involved there and it's actually in front of them. We'll see that a little bit later on. Possible risk of injury. If it was me, I would probably look at changing my technique a bit. It's more, maybe it's more so with Simon than it is with Keith. Here's Paul. Yep, a definite heel strike. We discussed Paul's stride actually, and it was very difficult to work out what was wrong with it, and it might just be that that heel strike is quite pronounced. Darren, yep, kind of striking with the heel, but kind of like rolling onto his midfoot as he comes through. Maybe it's not quite as much of an issue. There's a bit of a heel strike. Weight's quite over, but it is quite a heel strike for Ken there. Darren Mason landing right in the middle. Very good. And Mel, yep, landing nicely in the middle, weight over the foot as well. Very good. And that's a heel strike, and it's probably Tommy. Too many yellow coats. There's another bit of a heel strike, but the weight is nicely distributed over the top.
Choo choo, come on.
Again, nicely in the middle. That's Chris. Yeah, good position. And Michael. Bit of a heel strike, but it's definitely not as bad as the last time I videoed him. So, and I know he goes to his Monday nights. It looks like it's making good progress actually. And there's Lisa. Yep, nicely in the middle. Weight over the top, very good. Here's Catherine. Maybe he's overstriding a little bit and maybe striking with the heel a bit. Like I said, that's probably the bad combination that we might want to change. Here's Michelle. Probably landing in the midfoot the more I look at that one. But certainly good position of the weight going over the top of the foot. And here's Maria. I would say that's a little bit too heel strikey, but again the weight is over the top. It's not the worst combination, but it is quite a heel strike. A little bit inefficient. So moving on to the where I can see it from the side, just the red lines. You can see where Dan, I think, is just a bit too bull upright by comparison with where he leaves his leg. The next Dan along, kind of like a bit tight in the shoulders and a little bit swingy. You can see it more as they're moving here. And Colin at the back just has a little tendency to just overstride a little bit. It's maybe it's not something I would change in races, but it is maybe something I would change in training. It's just a little bit out in front of him. George, of course, is perfect. And there you can see, actually, they're all quite good runners. There's Luke with a good position. Dan's weight's over the foot, as is the next Dan, as is Colin at the back there, you know. The next picture shows the two overstriders that I pointed out earlier. Clearly Keith and Simon. At the front you can see Keaton, a little bit saggy in the middle, quite difficult when people are quite tall and light. Just need to be conscious of actually running quite straight. Now there's Andy's got quite good form as he's running along, but he is one of the heel strikers. Chris Redfern, again, really good form. And there's your two overstriders. You can just see that leg, you can just see it's sort of taking quite a lot of weight. What all of those runners are quite good at though is actually pushing the chest forward, so that the weight's going forwards, helping the efficiency. The next group, you can see how just Darren's bum, just a slight issue, just moving a little bit backwards. Paul actually looks like he's looking at Darren's bum, kind of looking downwards, almost as if he's stooping. Ken's looking upwards, which is unusual. Next runner along, a little bit sagging in the middle. I think it's Darren Mason. Yep, kind of sticks his bum out at the back. Mel's bum just moving backward a little bit. Again, what the runners do have is they're all actually putting the weight over the foot as it lands, which is really important, apart from Paul, but Paul is pushing his chest well. Next one, you can just see the person at the front has got a little bit of a stoop. Next one was Tommy, who's kind of swinging. Chris Cummins at the back there, really stiff shoulders. If we just watch here, you can kind of see where, yep, it's Michael, he's kind of stooping, Tommy's kind of swinging. Next runner along, I think, was Jason, who's swinging just a little bit from side to side as he runs. Chris moves from his shoulders and doesn't swing his arms by his elbows, and it makes him very stiff, actually, a little bit inefficient. All the runners, however, in this group were really quite good at getting the weight distributed. The next runner is Catherine, overstriding. I've put the little red mark so you can see it. Lisa, twisty-turny, and we discussed how that maybe causes a bit of stress to the knees. Maria's bum's moving back, and Michelle kind of leans back a bit as she's running. See it more here. Catherine's a bit swingy and a bit overstriding. See where Lisa's arms are kind of throwing swingy punches. Maria a little bit, and a little bit kind of in a sitting down position, and then Michelle at the back's leaning back, which is almost the opposite. What they all have is, though, they're all, again, distributing the weight over the foot as it lands, which is good. It's what you want. So you now know whether you want to make a change, or need to make a change, hopefully.